Hello everyone, Phoenix Knight here. Welcome to the channel. As part of a delivery product unboxing recently, I got By Stealth and Seein by DVG, talking about Italian human torpedo attacks during the Second World War. In this video we're going to unbox it and see what all is in here. So let's start by looking at the back of the box. We'll tip the light up just a touch. By Stealth and Sea, Italian human torpedo attacks during the Second World War. By Stealth and Sea is a solitaire or cooperative game that takes place during the Battle of the Mediterranean in the Second World War. You lead elements of a frogman unit called Decima Flottiglia Maz. Under your command, teams of frogmen pilot manned torpedoes in attacks against the Royal Navy in the heavily guarded harbors of Gibraltar, Algiers, and Alexandria. By Stealth and Sea's campaign system features all 9 historic manned torpedo attacks by the Decima Flottiglia Maz against the Royal Navy. During the campaign, you advance your technology and train your frogmen, but the Royal Navy responds to successful attacks by improving its defenses. The remarkable accomplishment of the Decima Flottiglia Maz serves as a model for other naval special forces for years after World War II. Will you be able to match these historic results, or will you succumb to the defenses of the Royal Navy? We've got all the counters in there, so let's crack this open and see what we've got in here. We've got the mission guide, which is probably the campaign book. I'm not going to thumb through that. The rule book, however, I will thumb through when we're done. Then we've got counter sheets, which are partially punched. I'll have to punch those the rest of the way out. Sheet 2. And the back of that. Sheet 3. Looks like we've got our 3 boards, which will fold out. Those are probably the 3 cities referenced in the game. We've got the after action report, which I'm hoping there's a copy of this on BGG or somewhere I can get at it. Not double-sided. Custom campaign operator roster. Again, hoping there's a copy of this out somewhere. Also not double-sided. I don't think anything in here is going to be double-sided. Another custom campaign AAR. Then we've got our SLCs. Looks like we got 2 SLC2s and an SLC1. And then some stuff in sleeve and sheet protectors. Okay, I see what he did. We've got the action reference here and the turn sequence reference, neither one of which is double-sided, but they are in a sleeve back-to-back, so that's cool. Then we've got all of the counters in here. Actually, those are discs. I'm not sure what those are for. We've got our alert cards, which look to be rolls based on these, and I wanted to check what size. Sorry about that, didn't realize I'd caught on the cord again. I need to figure out something to do with that. Unfortunately, given the way it's oriented, there's no real way I can avoid that. But what I wanted to do here is with these alert cards, I wanted to see what size sleeve these are going to take. I think Mini European, at least that's what it said when I looked this game up on sleeveyourgames.com. So we're going to go ahead and find out. And A little bit of overhang, but it's not terrible. The wide is more what I'm after, so perfect. So those take mini European sleeves, and I should have another couple of sets of those. I've got that set. Okay, yeah. Yeah. I've got enough mini Europeans, so I'll be able to sleeve those easily. Which I'll actually need more of those. For use in campaigns only is what these cards are. Actually, a couple of the, looks like that one, okay. So those will probably need sleeves at some point as well, but I'm not in a huge hurry to get those sleeved yet. For now, I'll throw that back in the rubber band. Actually, I'll just go ahead and sleeve one more random of these, even though I'm going to be sleeving them all ultimately. And no, they're not going to still be rubber banded when I get them all sleeved. Then we've got the forward positioning cards. Actually, we've got a few of the different types of cards here. Forward positioning, faults. Seemed like there's supposed to be a lot more than that, but they're not going to stay rubber banded for long. Just for storage until I get them properly sleeved and ready to go. In fact, those can hit the bin. Then we've got the counters that have been punched out. More of the counters. This organization isn't going to fly, though. I'll do something about that. Then we've got the dice. Is there anything under the insert? Nothing under the insert. In fact, the insert's going to come out because that won't be because by the time I get everything sleeved, it won't fit with the insert in here. So let's pull all of this back out of shot for the time being. This is not going to be the final configuration in the box. But what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and open out the boards. We'll open out the boards, then we'll take a look at the rule book, and then we'll call it a video there, because I do need to get tonight's hockey replay block all set up. Alright, we'll get the box top out of the way. I'm actually putting everything in the bottom for once. So we'll start off with our first board. I just grabbed one of the boards at random. Alright, this is the Gibraltar board. Of course, classic, wow, holy crap is that glary for a DVG board. But I really like how it's got the turn sequence up here, so we can follow everything through. And then we've got harbor defenses to help remind how everything works, along with how patrol crafts move. So that's really cool. There we go. I was having problems getting a finger under the Gibraltar board. So these should be the boards for Algiers and Alexandria. And sure enough, whoop, jarred my light. We've got Algiers, once again, with a really glary board. DVG par for the course. So by process of elimination, this board should be Alexandria, and it is. Yep. That is Alexandria. Board can go back in the box. We'll put all the tokens and stuff in there. Okay. Actually, the mission guide should go in there first. So now we can, actually, I'm going to pull all the tokens and stuff out. But now we can give the rule book our cursory thumb through. I'll zoom in on this just a touch. There we are. And let's crack it open. Looks like a typical David Thompson rule book. This is more similar to Lanzerath Ridge and Castle Itter than the other DVG games. It looks like he's got some notes in here as well, which I and on post-it notes, which I don't mind that in the slightest. Might make it easier to help get this game to the table. Okay. Giving us mission... Wait a minute. I thought this was the rule book, not the campaign guide. Okay, now we're starting to see what those discs are for. Okay, this is the rules section. Or this is the rule book. Never mind. Okay. How the fault checks work. Forward positioning phase. More notes here, which I don't mind. Again, I don't mind those, especially when they're not on the rule book, when they're not actually written on the book. Everything for the SLC phase looks like everything's pretty well laid out. Wondering what this marker is. Looks like something that he needed to remember about searchlights. That's in the harbor defense phase. More in the harbor defense phase. Cleanup phase, ending the game. How campaigns work. Technology advancement, more campaign rules. And references. And that's everything in the box. So that can go back in. And that is everything in the box for By Stealth and Sea by DVG. So that'll do it for this unboxing video. Still busy coming up on the channel. Later tonight we will have Block 24 of the 2009-10 hockey season replay. We will be at Bridgestone Arena in Nashville, Tennessee for the Calgary Flames to make their debut on the board as they take on the Nashville Predators. Tomorrow we'll have Pino with Phoenix for July 2025, and then there will be no videos on the channel until I come back from Gen Con next week. Thank you for watching the video. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to turn on notifications so you get my content. Be well, stay safe, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I'll be back with more videos in the future. Until then, take care everyone.